Hi, this is just a quick overview of Collaborate and some of the features that you might want to use if you're planning to host your own web conferencing session using Collaborate. I want to start in the upper left-hand corner of the Collaborate room. You have the audio video area, and so you have a talk button, and the talking with the microphones, it works just like a walkie-talkie. So you press the button to speak. When you're finished speaking, make sure you turn it off. And then you have the video button. If your computer has a webcam, you might want to use the video. Usually I would just turn it on really briefly and turn it off again, just to give your participants, a quick glimpse of who you are. If you leave it turned on, it makes for a really large file size, so that would be my reason for suggesting not having it going for the whole session. But for part of the session, for sure, it might be something you want to use. Below the audio video area, you have the participants area, and you can see all of the participants that would be listed in this area in the room. And so right now it's just me, so you would maybe have a few more names on there depending on the size of your session. You also have the ability to show emotion, so you can use the smiley face, you can laugh, you can applaud, show confusion, approval, disapproval, slower, faster, or none. So a lot of times I used to ask for some feedback. I would, ask my participants to respond, can you smile if you can hear me? Can you smile if you can see this? So the smiley face was always good for that. You can turn it off. You can put up your hand. If somebody has a question, they might want to raise their hand and a little bell will go off. So if you hear that bell, that lets you know that somebody needs some attention. You can also do some polling. If you had a question on the whiteboard and you wanted maybe to do either a yes or no, true, false, or multiple choice, you could set that and ask for the participants in the room to respond to your question. And so maybe their response was B. And so it gives you that indication of what those responses are for that poll. The chat area is really nice because it allows more participation from your learners. So you might have some students who are a little bit less likely to speak in class, and so maybe they'd want to ask their question or share a response in the chat area just by typing, and so they can participate in that way as well. The whiteboard is a shared whiteboard. Everybody can see it, and you need to do probably a little bit of designing for your whiteboard. What can you do to dress it up a little bit? Well, maybe you want to start just with the basics, like some text. So you might want to put the date. Maybe for your first slide you're going to have an agenda. And if you use the little text button down below, what would be on your agenda for that web conferencing session? Maybe there's going to be a review section. Maybe there's going to be time for questions. And you can use your pointer and you can move things around a little bit. If you wanted to snap a picture from your desktop, there is the screen capture button that works really nicely as well, but you can test that out on your own. If we go to the next page, maybe you want to add some clip art. You have a clip art button. There we go. Maybe something that you're covering has to do with a world map. You can look around at some of the other clip art options that are there. Maybe you want to do some highlighting or just to kind of point out a few things. So you can play around with the style of the highlighter that you're going to use and just do some writing on your whiteboard. If you wanted to point to something, there is the pointer button, and so even if this was text, you could point to the various areas that you want learners to focus on that screen. And so the pointer is there, and you have different options for the pointer as well. You're also able to upload a PowerPoint presentation. And so if you clicked on the load content button and go through and find that PowerPoint presentation that perhaps you have saved on your computer. I have a sample PowerPoint presentation to upload, but in your class, if you have PowerPoint presentations that you regularly use with face-to-face students, you might want to use them with your online students as well. So you would find that PowerPoint presentation, click on it, and then click open. I've already done this. It does take a little bit of time just to try to keep this moving along. I've already loaded it, but it'll automatically upload, and you can see here's my PowerPoint presentation. The nice thing about this is that you can also add more text, and so there we go. Maybe there's something else that you wanted to add on to your whiteboard. Maybe there's some more points that you wanted to make sure get covered. You can add those portions as well. And so you can move them around. You would have more content, more specific information to add, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just giving you the basics. So that's a PowerPoint presentation uploaded. Maybe one of the things that you want to do is a web tour. And so you have this web tour button up at the top of your screen, and you would enter a URL. And so you copy and paste or type it in. And you can go to a specific web page. Let's see if it'll work. There it is. You can scroll around. Everybody in the room, all of the participants, would be at this web page with you. So if you had something that in particular that you wanted to cover and go over with them, you could point it out so that everybody can see it. You don't have to send them off to another page, another site. Everybody can look at the same thing at the same time. So that's one nice feature. Let's turn that off. The last thing I wanted to show you was the record button. The record button is up in your upper right hand corner of the screen. Probably you want to record your sessions that you're having, these web conferencing sessions. Not all of your learners may be able to show up, and so recording your session is a really great way to make sure that everybody can gain that knowledge that they need to. It's also really good for review. Maybe there's something that needs to be looked at again, and so if your session is recorded, it can be revisited. I think that's all I have for you. There's a lot more that you can do with Blackboard Collaborate, but this is just a quick overview. I hope you enjoyed it.